Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA, has long been home to rock and roll, blues, the Country Music Hall of Fame, and the Grand Ole Opry. Nashville also is known as the Athens of the South, due to the city's emphasis on education, culture, and religion. It is even home to a full-scale replica of the Greek Parthenon built in 1897 for Tennessee's Centennial Exposition. Being a major center for Bible publishing, the city has come to be known as the Buckle of the Bible Belt. That's southern rim of the United States filled with Christian fundamentalists. This center of Christian conservatism makes it all the more puzzling that within Nashville can be found traces of ancient mysteries and theologies. That's from Occult Nashville by Jim Mars and Secret and Suppressed 2, Banned Ideas and Hidden History into the 21st Century, edited by Adam Parfrey and Ken Thomas. This is a Pharaoh House book. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I want to talk about a couple of issues that are all related. First, for all of those people out there who really thought they were getting something with this Tea Party movement as a grassroots effort to try to bring a new party into existence, which would have the effect of bringing candidates into office that held your same beliefs. You already know this. If you don't, you should. And that is that the Tea Party movement has been completely taken over by radical right-wing elements. These radical right-wing elements are not about restoring constitutional republic to the United States. Instead, they are about a very radical rightist agenda. Now, if any of you watch this are radical rightists, I'm sure you are very happy that the Tea Party movement has been completely taken over by this radical right-wing agenda. Like DICK Armey and his Freedomworks. Remember that he had a hand in the contract with America back in the day, as they say. And now Sarah Palin. Let me tell you something. I don't want to have anything to do with any organization that has DICK Armey involved in it or Sarah Palin. These are absolute and total proofs that this entire movement has been taken over by radical rightists. And you need to understand something very clearly here. The radical right is just as perverse as anything that you could find on the radical left. You want to know why? Because there's no difference between the radical right and the radical left. They may take different avenues to reach the same goal, but that is still the same goal. And you need to understand that while radical rightists will claim to be Constitution-loving, Republican-restoring people, they are nothing about that. They are more about a very different agenda. And sadly, the Tea Party has been taken over by this group. And I will have nothing to do with it because it is associated with these people and these elements. If you really want to have a constitutional approach, something that approaches what our constitutional republic is and a restoration of that, you need to go somewhere else because their agenda is not going to promote that, despite what they say. And the very people who are involved in it and where the money is coming from proves it. And you need to know that, and you need to get out of it if, in fact, that is what you wanted when you became involved. So, please be advised. And, if you value what you want this country to come out as, and you value the future of this country really, do not become involved in any of the radical right, because the radical right is just as destructive as any other force, and probably more so in other ways. And the very fact that you have the media and so many people on that supposed right-wing spectrum trying to paint Obama as a leftist and a socialist, there is that automatic swing of that left-right pendulum that people just bonk back and forth between without even thinking about what they're doing. That if you think, oh, he's categorized as a socialist, well then I need to go back over here to the right and I need to grasp these people. No, don't do it. Don't do it, because it's part of the sham, it's part of the show, it's part of the farce that is this two-party system, and that's the exact same thing that I've been telling you about for so long, and that you hear from others as well. The Tea Party is completely lost. Completely lost. Start looking for new candidates somewhere else. And, you know, as far as endorsements go, Rand Paul, you know, if you're a follower of his, you love him, whatever his policies, etc., just understand something. Being endorsed by Sarah Palin and having these people behind you is not where you want to be. And if I was Rand Paul, I would have told Sarah Palin, thank you, but no thanks. I don't want your endorsement, and I would not take anything from the Tea Party movement. I'd become disassociated from it completely. And that goes for Ron Paul too. And as far as his associations go, and you know what his ultimate platforms are, I have my problems with it, you know, as I've told you before. But with his association with the Tea Party movement, with his association with fear-mongering people like Alex Jones, and his unwillingness to separate himself from those things, and with his unwillingness to accept the fact that the federal government has a role to play in the running of the country, you know, and that there is a need to remove entrenched corporate positions in this government before you decide to get the government out of providing money to them and tax breaks and incentives, which is all great. That's wonderful. But it doesn't do a lick of good if you do nothing about prying that corporate influence out of government already, which he doesn't talk about. He simply does not address. And the fact that he would dismantle Social Security, Medicare, and all of the other safety nets that are part of what make this country great in so many ways, because it is an idea about the welfare of the country. It is the welfare of the people. And just like we have an army to protect this country from attacks from without, we should also have a system in place to help those who cannot help themselves. And I think that's a legitimate role for government, and that's a major difference that I have with Ron Paul and people that are similar to him. So just some thoughts on that. Tea Party, totally lost. Might as well give it up for dead. Thank you. Good night.